Hello, F3 Nation. Welcome to the State of the Nation call. My name is Mr. Woodchuck. I'm going to, in typical F3 fashion, start us off with the Namerama. Helmet, would you like to start us off, please? You're
I
on
will
mute,
start it
Helmet.
off. No, I'm not. Oh, he's messing with me already. Don't do that. Frank Schwartz, Fitty, Dark Helmet, Nantan of F3 Nation. Clean.
Hey guys, Drew Ishmael, also 50 for one more week. Power clean, head of sectors.
What's up, fellas? Kevin Weaver, 45, camo, head of LDP, tackle.
Damon, 36, tackle ITQ, Gilligan.
Peter Madison, 51, Gilligan, Stewart, scratch and win.
John Horton, 44, scratch and win, Executive Director of F3 Nation. Huck.
Jonathan Stevens, 49, Huckleberry. Back to you, Chuck.
And I am John Olson, 54. Mr. Woodchuck, I am your weasel shaker. Do you want to start us off with just a few comments from the weasel shaker side? I'm going to be monitoring comments tonight, so if you guys have anything you want to ask us, anything you want to contribute, just drop it in the YouTube or Facebook platforms. I'll be monitoring those so we can get your questions addressed as we can. Probably can't get to all of them, but we'll do our best. If you have something that doesn't get addressed and you need it, still have an open question, feel free to check us out on the Nation Slack channel. Send us some messages there or send us an email. We'll get you squared away as quick as we can.
And if you're super angry, just send it to powerclean@f3nation.com.
Yes, go there first. The last thing I want to share before I hand it off to my colleagues is, as a Weasel Shaker, we have started a monthly Weasel Shaker call. So if you are a Weasel Shaker out there in the nation and you are not on the nation's Slack channel yet, get in there, get hooked up to the Weasel Shaker channel, and let's get connected and get this thing moving. That's all I got. Helmet, back to you.
Aye, Captain. The question I ask myself every day now is what does Woodchuck say? So if I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do, I go, well, what would Woodchuck say? What does Woodchuck say? Gentlemen, I cannot express, and I may even get a little verklempt here. I'm kind of really inspired tonight. I'm super excited. A couple of years ago, when we kind of conceived this idea of a State of the Nation, the idea was that we would just address the packs a couple times a year and try and update you on what's going on. And I'm almost starting to think that 2 times a year may not be enough because things move so fast and there's so much that is always happening. So I just want to touch on some stuff. I presume tonight that I'm talking to the faithful, and I'm grateful that you're here. We continue to grow as a nation. We continue to become known to the world. You've seen F3 is being talked about on podcasts all over the place. Art of Manliness. We've got the Jason Khalipa podcast that just came out. I feel a little embarrassed still that I didn't know who that was at the time. A lot of guys have really given me a lot of hassle, but I should have known who that was. My apologies. He's kind of famous-ish, right? It's a big deal in the fitness world. Fittest man on earth a couple times running, and just a super good guy. He's very missionally aligned, as are many of these people that we get to talk to. Leading Saints, a number of kind of nationalish podcasts. So people continue to be known or continue to find out about us in those ways, and they continue to come. FNGs find us on things like Facebook ads and Facebook posts. A lot of wives are finding us and saying, honey, you need to get yourself out there and connect with these guys. These seem like good guys. And you all continue, of course, to EH madly. There's 5,500 almost weekly workouts in 466 regions. And the other thing that I find is super inspiring is the stories that I hear of how you guys take care of each other. And those continue to pour in from all over the country and across the world. I don't know if you saw that there was this FIA F3 wedding that happened at a beatdown. There were goats. I don't really know everything that happened there. I didn't see the video, but that's kind of an interesting thing, right? I mean, what kind of a world? You don't see that in other organizations. There's nobody, from the the local running club that they're like, hey, let's get married and do it in front of the world and have goats. Maybe that's a good thing that there's no goats at those things, but I don't know. You hear stories of men rescuing others from flooding in Western North Carolina and Texas and other areas. Oftentimes, F3 men end up being the first feet on the ground. That's significant. When we talk about community leadership, that's the kind of thing that I want us to be thinking about and leaning into. There's hundreds of thousands of man hours and dollars that get donated to causes in our local communities. And there's even the occasional story of men where, I'll see it happen in Slack, and a guy will say to another region thousands of miles away, my grandma needs help, or my daughter needs help, or whatever it may be. And these people in this faraway place benefit from the generosity and the love and the shared bond that we have as F3 men, and will gladly let total strangers come and help them with whatever it is, because these guys over here know a little something about these guys over here, because we all wear this on our chest. That's a big deal. It's almost hard to really comprehend and to calculate the impact of those kinds of things. From a little bit of digging that I've done online, though, and of course these are estimates, right? But in terms of fraternal or all male organizations, I did a little digging, and I found out with our membership currently as it stands, we're likely in the top 10 of largest all male organizations that exist in the world. By some estimates, maybe even in the top 5. That includes things like the Freemasons and other very large fraternal organizations that people have heard of. We are by far the youngest of any of these anywhere, even close. I think our closest rival for that title is about 125 years old. We are the only one, and this is significant, we're the only one that is presently growing. The rest of these organizations are in decline. I don't know why that is, but they are. Our rate of growth at present has accelerated over the last 12 to 18 months to a rate of roughly 2 new AOs a day and 1 new region just shy of every 8 days. I'm gonna let that sink in. We launched 2 new AOs a day and roughly 1 new region every 8 days. And friends, we've only just begun. Not Getty Lee. And this is all while we collect no dues. We have no pledges or membership contracts for you to sign. We have no rules that you're compelled to follow. And we have no other expectations of you than that you will live the mission, follow the 5 core principles, and to seek to improve yourself constantly as a man and as a husband, as a father, and as a leader in your home and in your community. Why? Because as I've said many times before, and I will likely say many, many more times before it's all said and done, we're not a business. We're not a charity. We're not an events company. We are instead a movement. And we are dedicated to bringing men into community with one another so that we can assist them and equip them to unlock their purpose and fulfill their potential. That is what we exist to do. There is very little else that we will do. And you'll hear tonight how we have resized ourselves and changed things in such a way that those are the only things that we ever will be focused on. The only place that we will spend our resources and time and other means is on doing those things that are solely and completely missional in every way. Do we miss sometimes? Sure. Are there times that men check the map and show up for a beatdown downrange and find that there's no workout actually happening? Or if you're like my buddy Italian Job, you show up, 2 other guys show up in the rain, and then they go, dang it, we were kind of hoping you weren't going to be here. We're just going to go to coffee. Best of luck. And they just left him there. I'm not going to tell you where that happened, but it happened. Does that happen sometimes? Yes, it does. But I believe that those are the exception, and they're not the rule. Are there men out there who are detractors and distractors against what we're trying to do, who will criticize us and sometimes even try and row against the tide of what we're trying to do as an SLT and what you guys are trying to do in your regions? Absolutely. Some are even among our ranks. That's okay. I feel that they are a slightly vocal minority. I don't worry about that. Why do they do this? I don't know. It's okay. It's okay. Because here's the thing, and this is one of the points I really want to make tonight, is maybe they have other problems in areas of their lives and they're fighting those demons. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Unlike the world that would say to a man, we don't like you, we don't like how you act, get out. We will live counterculturally, and all of us as F3 men will simply pour more love on those individuals, because it is very likely that that's what they need the most. They need us. So we're not going to take our eyes off the ball. Sometimes you hear the question, what's the nation for? Well, friends, that's what we're gathered tonight to hear. You're going to hear what's the nation for. But I'm going to answer you this. If you're only in this thing for you, it's for little to nothing. But if you're here to learn how to progress your life through the quadrants of getting right, of living right, of leading right, and ultimately leaving right, then there really is no limit to what you can get out of F3. This is a framework that is designed to help you live your life in a virtuous way and live that life accordingly. It's designed to help you how to, well, all of us, not you, but all of us, me included, to learn how to forget ourselves and get to work. The work is loving and serving others. And so tonight, you're going to hear about some of the things we've already done, but mostly you're going to hear about where we're going. Preparation is the theme tonight. Preparation is where we get ready for the expected, and yet we stay ready for the unexpected. You're going to hear a lot about how we're getting ready for what we expect, and how by building things the way that we're building them. And I kind of jokingly said in Slack, 43 miles ahead. I got to tell you, this is maybe the strongest SLT that's ever existed in F3 Nation. And I say that knowing where we've come from, because I've been here the whole time, right? Like, I think that the men here are strong. I think that the service that they're giving are strong. But the reason I think that this may be some of the strongest is because of not just the men that they are, but because we are uniquely positioned. This is a very different time for F3, I think, than we've ever seen in the past. I believe we're at a very pivotal moment. I believe that much like Malcolm Gladwell talked about in his book, we are looking over the edge of a tipping point. We kind of jokingly say in the SLT all the time, we're only one Jocko away. We're only one Joe Rogan away. Well, friends, I don't know how to tell you this, but many of the men we've had on our podcast, or whose podcasts I have been on, or that we are starting to bump into out there in this sort of thought leadership space of male leadership and masculinity and men's community, all of these things, we are only one Joe Rogan away, and we are this close. So tonight, you're going to hear how we are going to prepare ourselves to have rock solid legacy positions in all of the areas that F3 touches. That's our structure, our technology, our culture, our finances, and all of these things, because preparedness is what's going to get us to that next level. All right. So I want you to be able to listen carefully, take your notes, ask your questions, and recognize that at the end of this hour, I hope that you'll have a much better sense of where we're headed as F3 Nation. That said, I'm going to hand it off to the head of sectors, my man. I was going to try and come up with some sort of like thrill of the Midwest or something to give you, but no, he's the head of sectors, and his name is Power Clean. Take it away, brother.
Hey, thanks so much, Dark Helmet. You talked me up a little bit too much there. I just wanted to take a little bit of time to introduce myself, and maybe one of the reasons I feel I was asked to do this job. So came at F3 5 years ago, just under 5 years ago, under a man named GMO by the ask of a man named Lube, and changed my life. So really simply, if you've been to a grow ruck that I've taught at, you notice that I was heavier. I'm 100 pounds lighter, and my world has changed. I've gotten a vision. So I've also developed a mission in life, and it's super simple. I get up every day to make the world a better place by challenging men to be better for their families, better for their communities, better for their workplace. That's my mission in life. And so I was asked to do this because of my military background, maybe because of my passion, maybe because the men of Jeffco, where I come from, they talked me up really well. But I've taken it as a solemn duty to kind of revamp sectors a little bit and take it from the amazing place it is and make it more amazing because, like Dark Helmet said, we're growing. We're growing and we can't stop it. We can't stop the growth. This train has left the station. So because this train has left the station, we have to be able to help the men that come in behind us to get to the places we are. So that being said, if we'll go to my first slide, I'll start from there. So what are the sectors? So sectors, as you can read, are the frame we build F3 on, and we aim to keep them lizard-like and nimble. A loose structure to support regions. What we have heard from regions is that their communication falls on deaf ears. What do we do for you? And our goal is to do whatever we can without telling you what to do. So communications from the regions is so important, and we're listening. And in this case, we're adapting. So sectors are growing. On the last day of the nation, we had 7 sectors. My belief, and I've workshopped this, not enough to stay proximate. We need sector cues that you know who they are. We need area cues that you know who they are and they're in your life. We need a structure that you can ask the questions to, and they may not know the answers, but they can get them to you quick. So that's the goal that I see is a strong communication link, but a loose structure. So as you can see, we're aiming for 20 plus worldwide for now, with as many needed at a future state. We're going to stay nimble. It means we'll increase sectors in the same way we grow regions. We're going to starfish. So I think that's important. As we grow and as that need arises, we're going to talk it, and we're going to grow it, and we're going to be all about staying as proximate as possible when you can at a sector and area level. We need more men to step up and lead. Triple the leaders to step up as sector cues and area cues. If we have 7 now, or we had 7, we're going to end up with 20 plus. UK is a sector. We have the West in 4 or 5 sectors. The Midwest, the East, we're all growing, and that's amazing. So how do we support? So the sector structure is designed to be an intermediate level of leadership. In other words, we're a conduit from Dark Helmet and the SLT all the way down to the regions and the AOs. We want to know what's going on so we can help, and we can provide support. We can provide all the things that we should and feel like we should provide, which is just knowledge and expertise of how it's been done and how it's worked. So that's one of the things. If we could go to the next slide. So we have an estimate of 90,000 men in F3. No movement, and we are a movement. We are a movement to change the world, change the men to change the world. No movement can survive and flourish without some structure. So we're just here to build it. We're here to provide it. I've used this analogy in the past, but the sectors should be like the tree you hang all your ornaments on at Christmas. You shouldn't really notice the tree, but it should be strong and have as many branches as needed to have the ornaments, which are the regions. So that's my analogy, if that works for you. But sites and regions will always be the place where the work of F3 gets done. And our goal of the sector structure is to help the HIMs of F3 to have more support to accomplish the mission. We need your leadership. We need men to step up to be leaders. And we know everybody on this call is a leader. You're leading in your family, you're leading in your community, and we're asking you to lead a little bit more in F3. So have you been wondering what's next in your journey? The sectors team can be the place. Sectors at f3nation.com. Next slide. We need your help. We have goals. Stuff we're trying is amazing. We want to make it better. We have this Swingin' Richard campaign. What is that? Reach out. It's about communication as much as anything. It's every Swingin' Richard should understand what's going on at the nation level, or in the area next to you, or in the region next to you. And we believe that we can help facilitate that communication. We need area cues. We need men to step up. Maybe you were a Nantan or a Weasel Shaker, and you've transitioned off, and you still want to give back and be proximate to Nantans and help them grow. This is how you do it. A year in the life of an F3 region. We want to build a workbook about the first year in what an F3 region looks like and how it can grow, and what are some pitfalls that you'll run into. So we want to get knowledge base and have all this knowledge available. And we want to develop systems and standard operating procedures, not because you have to do them, but because they work and you'll want to do them. Again, as you're ready, sectors at f3nation.com. Or, as Dark Helmet said, if you're really angry, power clean at f3nation.com. Next slide, please. So what are we looking for? We're looking for men that are ready and willing to work. Ready and willing. That means what it means. It's work. It's a volunteer status, but we're going to ask you to do some things. Can you communicate and collaborate in a team environment? Teams upon teams. We're going to have sector teams. We're going to have vertical integrated tech teams and LDP teams. As these guys, we want to support everything the SLT is trying to do. Do you understand the mission of F3, plant, grow, and what we're doing, serving? Are you ready to impact the world? Then sectors at f3nation.com. So last thing, do you have the courage, and I do say courage, to change the men to change the world? That's my ask, and I'm excited. I love F3. Again, it's changed my life, and if you ask my wife, anybody that knows her knows that it's saved more than I can tell. It saved my marriage. So with that, I'm going to pass it off to the man, the myth, the legend, the LDP guru, Camo.
Thank you, PC. Good evening, F3 Nation. As Power Clean said, my name is Camo, and I'm honored to head up leadership development process. I want to start tonight with a very simple question. If you're walking around in F3 gear and somebody says, hey, man, what kind of organization is F3? How do you answer? If you say Free Men's Workout Group, you're leaving an awful lot on the table. If you say we believe in fitness, fellowship, and faith, those things are all true, but that's still not the entire answer. The simple fact is, boys, we are a movement that believes the best way to make our world better is to develop men into leaders, and that's leadership development. So on this first slide here, I'm going to take you through the basics straight out of Q-Source. What is LDP? Very simply, it's a decentralized execution to accomplish a central purpose. It happens in 4 phases. The first is schooling. We're going to teach you how to lead. Second is apprenticeship. You're going to follow and model other experienced leaders. Third is opportunity. We're going to give you the chance to step up, whether that is in your VQ or in leading at your AO or leading at your SLT. And then probably most importantly, we're going to give you the opportunity to fail, because we believe that through failure, we learn the most. Success does not teach us as much because it feels good when we succeed and it hurts like hell when we fail. So if what I just mentioned, Q-Source, is new to you, fix that ASAP. Click on that little blue link after we share those slides and learn more. This is the first time tonight I'm going to ask you to take a screenshot of this slide because I'm about to introduce some dudes you need to know. These are the guys that it's my pleasure to work with in driving LDP. They each head up resources or programs, or sometimes both, that are designed for you, PACs, and regions to move forward. So grab this slide. It's got contact info on it. I'm going to reference it later. But guys, these are the guys you're going to reach out to take advantage of this stuff. So quick reminder, I presented this to the last State of Nation, but for anybody who wasn't there, the simple mission of my team is to equip, educate, and exhort you, the men of F3 Nation, to move forward for greater impact. That's it. We believe in 3 things really powerfully. We believe that we got something special with the culture of F3. We believe that to be an F3 man means something. It means to pursue virtuous leadership, to try to get, live, lead, and leave right, and to really care about the purpose and the legacy that we leave behind. We believe that every man is a leader, and that one of the best things that we can do is to embrace end-to-end leadership, where we create opportunities for men to step up. We meet them wherever they are. We invite them to do more. And then what my team focuses on is the tools and resources and stuff worth trying to help you guys out there in the regions and the AOs do these things better. So that's just a quick refresher. That's our priorities for 2025. So now let's talk about some of the things you can take advantage of. I mentioned programs and resources, okay? Right at the top, we've got Project Afterburner. What this is deep exploration of Q-Source principles in a class-like environment. Nominally, it's 4 weeks. You do it together. We're working on virtual options as well. And most importantly, we are working to bring it to regions and take ourselves out of the mix. That's because we know that we got to get out of being the bottleneck. All right. So Gopher just hosted a call a few days ago, inviting regions to come learn about Afterburner so they can execute it on their own. If you missed that one, no worries. There's going to be more. But hit up Gopher, get your packs moving forward on this, or get yourself going deeper in QSource. Second program is the Accelerate Incubator. This is targeted towards SLT leadership, all right? Leaders of regions or leaders of areas and sectors. It's a virtual workshop style program that's going to teach you how to build and grow and sustain a best-in-class region. We start at the basics with things like vision and culture, and we take you through all the way through tactics, how to recruit, how to retain, how to ultimately starfish and leave right. Bilbo's going to be your guy for that. A couple of the things, hopefully, that you know by now. Stuff Worth Trying is a deep repository of all kinds of lessons learned and best practices. Chances are, if you've got a question about how to do something in F3, it's probably noted in Stuff Worth Trying. So if you haven't explored that, go dig around. The next one is even more well-known. It's QSource. Guys, this one is free. It's linked at the F3 Nation website. You have absolutely no excuse not to go get educated on QSource. So if you hear acronyms at some point in this presentation, go get deep on QSource. Then last but not least, there's some really cool things happening. We very much embrace and love region-led in-person events to take your packs through LDP. I want to highlight an example that's going on right now. The boys in Wichita in Kansas are about to put on an event called The Disruptor. This is a weekend-long event. It's going to balance fitness. It's going to balance leadership. And it's going to have a wide variety of challenges and schooling to move their men forward. The coolest thing about this, and by the way, they're thinking 100 to 200 guys. The coolest thing is that they are willing to share the playbook after they do this. So if your region or your area is maybe intimidated on how to pull this off, guess what? A guide's about to come your way of guys who have been there, done that, probably learned a few lessons, and will move you forward. So super cool. I am stoked for these boys down in Wichita. Can't wait to hear the stories and, most importantly, the impact that comes out of it. But guys, this is the second slide I'm going to tell you to snip here, because all of this stuff is ready and available today. All right. So go ahead and get after it. This slide, it doesn't really have a great place in the deck. However, it's such a wonderful tool that I'm sharing it again just in case. This is called the Region G3L map. And whether you've been a region for 3 months or 3 years, chances are that this one-pager here can give you some insight on where to go next. So this is the third time I'll tell you, go ahead and grab that screen snip. You can also find this at Stuff Worth Trying. But this is worth a conversation, fellas. If you're a regional SLT, just take a moment. Assess how you're doing in the first, second, third F in the leadership teams. Are you at get right? Are you at live right? Are you ready to starfish and leave right? And then down below there, those are all links out. They're live links out to other tools that you can leverage. So awesome tool. I included it again because I feel like every month somebody reaches out and says, man, I just found out about this G3L map. This is awesome. So use it, boys. Use it. It's there. All right. So the last thing I want to leave you with, guys, is that we need you. We need every single man on this call to step up. This mission of ours, it's massive. It's not just statewide. It's not just nationwide. It's worldwide, guys. It's worldwide. And we need every man to step up. Individual initiative is the fuel that F3 runs on. And there is nobody that is excluded from doing their very best to help us achieve this mission. So commit to making yourself and your region better. We can't do it for you. You've got to want it. As a PAX, use the tools available that I just mentioned to go forward. Seek out whetstone relationships. If you don't know what that is, a whetstone is where you go find somebody who can serve as a mentor for you and you get sharpened. Build a shield lock around yourself. Go find other men who are seeking to accelerate through the G3L. and move forward. If you're a region, same thing. Assess where your region's doing on LDP. If you're not going as aggressively as you like, consider maybe a head of LDP on your SLT. If you do that, please let us know on the LDP team, because we're going to embrace that guy and empower him. Second, arm your SLT with best practices through Accelerate. VAPE, okay? Look that acronym up if you don't know it. VAPE and create opportunities for your packs to step up. Create a pipeline of leadership for them to progress through, and reach out to area Qs and sector Qs for support. I am committed. The LDP team is committed. Hell, the whole SLT is committed to giving you the resources you need. But guys, we can't do it for you. Step up, get in the game. We don't have spectators in F3. We only have players. Love ya. Go get them. Off to tackle to tell you about so much cool stuff.
Hey guys, I didn't think I had a bunch to show you, but we did a dry run through yesterday and I have a lot of really cool stuff. I'm really excited to show it. So if I talk fast, I apologize. Don't worry. Everything you see here, the video recording and the slides will be available on the website afterwards at f3nation.com/SOTN. So check out that if you missed anything or want to watch anything else. Dark Helmet mentioned one Rogan away from something big happening. And then someone on the post asked what we're doing to get ready for that. I'm going to start with something I've seen work well for a lot of people through periods of change. It's called people, processes, technology, and it's in order for a reason. You need to have people ready for change. You need to have the culture for it. And I think we're there. We have a ton of great guys. You need processes. You need standards and not necessarily rigid stuff, but ways of doing things to be able to get ready for change. And then underlying all that, once you have all that ready, you can apply technology to allow rapid expansion and growth and do that sustainably. So that's what we're doing here. We're trying to accomplish that. The technology is not the end all be all. It's a facilitator for you guys to help you guys. So start off with a little technical detail. If you guys are familiar with our tech stack right now, we're kind of all over the place. We have maps that used to be in WordPress. We had PaxMiner, which is our workout data that used to be in Beaker's basement in St. Louis somewhere. The Exicon lexicon, it's in Google Sheets right now. And dashboards. Every region has their own dashboard in Looker Studio or some other app. So not really, no synergy, nothing to bring them all together. So one of the things we're doing, one of the things we did is we created a central database where all the F3 data is going to live and it's going to connect and it's going to work together. So now we're going to have the Codex coming soon, which is the new name for the Exicon lexicon. That's talking to the same data set that Slackbot's talking to, that maps, F3 near me, dashboards, something called region pages, what I'm going to get into. This is a super technical slide, but I just want to let you know we're bringing everything together, and that's going to really allow us to expand, build more apps quickly, and make sure they can communicate, and there's no more people using old data or wrong data. So this is... It feels small, maybe if you're not a technical person, but this is huge. And I want to give a special shout out here for everyone, but specifically Moneyball for starting this and Spuds for also having a big impact. So now, quick reminder, if you guys haven't seen it, I'd be surprised. We released a new map, which is incredible. Big T-claps for Spuds. He's got a dev shop out in Boone. He put this together from scratch for F3. This isn't something we bought off the shelf and tweaked for us. This is made from the ground up for us. So there's his website there. If you guys ever need custom help in your Mammon or whatnot, go check him out. There's a link to the map here. Again, this will be on the website afterwards, so you don't need to write down these links. There's a user guide for how to use the map. And also, I should say it's a lot easier. Before you had to fill out a map, you had to fill out a form to get the map updated, and someone had to review it, and they didn't know what was going on, so that was pointless. But now, if you fill out this bottom link, you can become an admin for your region. You can go right into the map and make changes instantly. If you want to change it from Monday to Tuesday, you want to move the GPS coordinates 5 feet away. If you want to change the description to say you're not working out this week at this location because you're at a convergence at that location, you can do that instantly, and you can do that for your entire region. That third link there, you can see who are admins for your region. If you don't have one, reach out, fill out that form at the bottom. Typically, it's Nantans, ITQs, ComsQs, Weasel Shakers, anyone that feels responsible for keeping this up to date. So, and then next we're going to talk about the Codex. So if you guys missed it, the beginning of this year, earlier this year, we had our first hackathon. So we asked the nation, we said, hey, Exicon, Lexicon, not great right now. We need a new solution. We said, we're going to put this out to the nation. We had 6 or 7 guys submit apps, custom apps they made for this hackathon to replace the current Exicon and Lexicon. So I want to give a congratulations to Roma at North Houston. He was the winner. He was chosen as the winner. But I also want to give a huge thank you to Baguette, Gelato, Mac, Big Wheel, and Peacock for submitting those. And some of these guys have even signed on to help on other F3 code projects. So these are incredible guys, all of them. Yeah, as you guys know, Exicon, Lexicon, iffy, we're getting better. It's not out yet. We're hooking it up to that single database that I mentioned, and then working on a process that we can have admins so that people can submit things, we can review them, approve them, because the Exicon and Lexicon have been stale for a long time, and we want to get those back up and running. And so we're close, hopefully weeks, less than a month, maybe. I'm not going to promise anything, but that was almost a promise. Yes. And yeah, so look forward to that. No, one more thing on that. If you want to be part of the curators, the people who are deciding what's in the Exicon Lexicon or not, PowerClean was voluntold to be over that group. So if you want to be involved, reach out to PowerClean. All right, now we're going to move on to Slackbot. For those of you guys who don't use Slack or don't know about Slackbot, if you're in Slack, right now you have a bunch of different Slack apps. You have TaxMiner, which is where we store historical workout data. We have Slack Blast, which is a form that allows you to put workouts in that database. You have Queue Signups, which allows people to sign up for queues ahead of time. And then you have Weasel Shakers, which helps you let you know if people stop showing up, and it gives you achievements. We're going to combine all of that into a single app called the F3 Nation Slack app. If you have a cool name, we're all ears. That's going to be awesome. It's going to, like I said, it's all one database. Everything's going to be tied together. If you had a workout to the map, it shows up in queue signups, and people can sign up to queue immediately. You don't have to do this 3 different times. In this new one, you can see there's HC buttons and there's un-HC buttons, which we're going to have some fun with. But if you sign up to queue and you don't put a pre-blast out, we'll send you a reminder. If you had a queue and you didn't do your back blast, we'll send you a reminder, and it'll be a button that says fill out your back blast, and you just hit it. You can even add calendars to the canvas. You can add SL team members to the canvas so everyone knows who to go to if they need questions. And you can even edit the map from the Slack bot. So if you're not on Slack or you don't have this, keep an eye out for when we roll out the new version. Next, because I'm almost out of time, dashboards. Okay, so we're not trying to hold anyone down. There will be growing pains. If you're a technical person, you realize we're going from TaxMiner database to a new database, you're going to realize all of your Looker Studio dashboards are going to break. I get it. I spent hours on the Denver dashboard. It sucks, but this is going to be worth it. And in order to kind of alleviate some of that pain, Jolt out of Northlake, I forgot to say, Moneyball was the guy that was doing the Slack app. You guys all know Moneyball, but T-claps for him on the Slack bot. Jolt here out of Northlake in Texas, he's building a dashboard for you. So if you remember, we asked for dashboards across the nation, all the stuff that's common that you guys love, he's building into this app. You don't have to do anything to configure it. It has links to workouts. You can say, all right, here's my stuff, my link to region stuff, and I'll go to this AO stuff. Lots of charts and graphs and numbers. So if you hate Looker Studio or you don't want to set that up, you don't have to do that anymore. One more, just so you know, this is not all smoke and mirrors. We are announcing the release of a new tool right now. The next slide is region pages. If you don't have a website, don't want to build a website, don't want to pay for a website, you don't have to anymore. This is a custom URL just for your region that is pre-populated with all of your workout data. And if you want, you can include a link to your region. There's a blurb at the top. It's still version 1. We're going to have some custom, I'm telling Baguette right now live that we're going to have some customization options. But This is going to be great for people that are just getting started and don't have the time or the know-how to build their own website. They can just link to regions.f3nation.com/ whatever their region name is. And if you want to, you can go there now and start using that URL. This is completely live. All right, I am out of time, but I have to finish this next slide because it's very important. Takeaways. We're in this process. We had a bunch of different apps that were disconnected. They were created by really strong guys who saw a need and they filled it, and that's great. And we're going to stand on their powerful shoulders and we're going to move that forward. So now we still have mostly standalone apps, but we're tying them all together so that they're talking the same language. And that's going to help us accelerate. And if you talk to Dark Helmet for any length of time, he has dreams for a Slack replacement or Slack alter, a single app for all of F3. So one day. But a couple notes, everything is open source. All of the code you've seen tonight is on github.com. There's a link to it. If you're a developer, we'd love for you to help us out. We have a dedicated workspace, Slack workspace that you can join. Just send me, just let me know if you want to join. And yeah, it's a small group right now and we're doing great things, but if we have more great guys, we can do more great things. We are super reliant on Slack right now. We're working on getting away from Slack, single app. There's the data set that I talked about. Nothing core to what we're building is requires Slack. So if Slack kind of disappeared, we'd be not great, but okay. And we're working on furthering that distance. Again, if all of these tools seem stupid to you and you're going to do your own thing, you're going to have your own website, your own dashboards, great. We would love for you to do that. These tools are not for you. These are for the regions that just started and they don't have the time or the nerds to build these things themselves. Those are the people we're trying to help out so they can get back in the gloom where they know how to make a difference. And if you are a new region and you want to help with our current tech stack, there's a link there at the bottom. But again, super exciting stuff. Stay tuned and thanks. Oh, yes. All right. I have this planned out. So now the guy who's as committed to his wardrobe, his F3 name, as he is to our finances. Gilligan.
Thank you, Tackle.
Yeah.
I'm Gilligan. I am the new steward of F3 Nation. I took over the role starting in July, just this month. So I'm relatively new, still getting my feet wet and everything that's going on. But I am here to support the nation. Just like the IT and what Tackle's doing, we're here as a support network to allow F3 Nation to grow and develop more men. And it's the whole goal. As steward, I am here to make sure that we do that responsibly with our finances, keeping an eye on everything, making sure we're spending dollars wisely and ethically and moving forward with our plan of growth. And who knows, we might get surprised by some rapid growth. We need to be prepared for that too. It's interesting that I joining just recently, I wasn't totally aware of how the whole F3 Nation was and what it was and how it worked and starting to get into it. So the F3 Nation in itself is a very powerful group of individuals with large amounts of talent. You've seen a lot of that coming through already tonight, but it's overseen by the SLT, the shared leadership team, which we are tonight. That team is actually overseen by a board of directors that make sure that the overall guidance to the SLT is proper and what is actually happening is proper. Financially, we also have an outside professional accountant group that oversees us. So there are a lot of control elements that happen with the F3 Nation and how the finances are done. If anybody has any questions, you got my email there on the bottom of this slide. Please ping me. I want to be as transparent as I can about the finances. I don't want anything to be hidden. I don't think it needs to be, and I don't think it should be. I do want to run through a quick little Scrooge on the F3 financial side of things. So in the past, we've had some great work. I took over from U-Haul and Scratch and Win and Jolly Roger were kind of filling in for a little while. They did some great work. Actually, some amazing stuff in the past year and a half with some of the leadership at SLT, bringing down expenses by 30%. It's been pretty serious, trying to redirect that money into more purposefully building men. Right now, I'm working pretty avidly on just getting my feet wet, but also working to develop some controls and documentation behind it so that we operate a little bit more like a real corporation. Moving forward, we hope to increase that direction of expenses, so reducing any, I hate to call it wasteful expenses, because I don't think we ever spent money wastefully, but just more directed in our expenses, formalizing some of that responsibility, and making sure F3 stays free and remains free as we move into the future and keep growing like mad. So with that in mind, I want to send us off to Scratch and Win, who is doing some amazing stuff on the financial side, but also all across the board. So Scratch and Win.
Yeah, thank you, Gilligan. And seriously, your outfit and attire is so fire, as the kids would say. No cap. My teenage sons would make fun of me right now, but thank you, Gilligan, for all you're doing and just for making sure that we have eyes on our finances. It's so important, because pillar number one of our financial structure is transparency. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what we have going on in the generosity realm. I read a definition of generosity lately, and it said generosity is the act of giving good things to others freely and abundantly. And I thought that was so awesome, because that's what we do as F3 men. We give this thing away. So tonight I'm going to talk to you a little bit about sort of where the F3 charitable arm is going, and how we're going to move forward. So with that said, I'll kick to my first slide here. We're going to talk about the HIM Society. We're going to talk about the Accelerate campaign, how we're using the funds, and a little bit about our partnerships and how you can accelerate your local fundraising efforts. So the HIM Society, the High Impact Man Society. I don't know if we have any, Tackle talked about nerds. I don't know if we have any Latin nerds out there that want to help us with that translation, but Stumus Impulsum Vir Societas, a High Impact Man Society. Now, what that means is this group, they're committing to 3-year pledges, a 3-year investment to help give this thing away to the next man. That is what the HIM Society is about. Now, let me say this. There are many ways to be a high impact man. I think you guys know that. Giving is just one way. Let me repeat that. There are many ways to be a high impact man. Giving and being generous is only one of the ways. So I want to make sure that you hear me say that. So I want to shout out, well, before I get to that, I want to tell you where these investments are to date, and then we'll get to how they're being used. So when you join the HIM Society, we have some of these guys that are making 3-year investments of $15,000, $7,500, $3,000, a few sort of numbers in between. But to date, the HIM societies throughout F3 Nation have generously pledged $336,000 and change. That is incredible. That is, now we're talking about real acceleration. We're going to get to how those funds are going to be invested and how they're going to be put to work here in a second. That is kind of what the HIM Society is about, what its purpose is for, and how guys are getting involved in a very generous level. Again, being a HIM, there's lots of ways to do it. Giving is just one. So finally, on the HIM Society, I want to shout out the regions that have created HIM societies thus far. St. Louis, the Gateway, the capital, Jax, which I'm rocking the Jax hat here. Real, recognized real. Puget Sound of Seattle, Omaha, and Greensboro. Some shout outs in each of these areas. St. Louis, my boy Wolverine. DC in the capital, Horseshack, Grappler, Gherkin. In Jacksonville, we got Full Monty and Fix It. Puget Sound, the greater Seattle area, Fanny. In Omaha, our boy Wait Time. And in Greensboro, I want to shout out Wojo and Maneater. So that gives you a little look into what the HIM Society is. More to come on that. And there are lots more regions sort of waiting in the wings for 2025 and 2026 to begin forming the HIM Society in their backyard. So as a lot of you have heard, over the years, we've done the Accelerate campaign. And now what the Accelerate campaign is just that. It's how we help accelerate F3 Nation's mission and impact. through generosity, through my generosity, the generosity of the guys on this call, the generosity of you guys watching right now. Every year that happens in the fall. This year it's going to take place from October 1 to October 31. More details to come. But look, guys, that's the one time a year we say, I want you to ask yourself a question. How has F3 changed my life? Am I a better man? Am I a better leader? Am I a better husband? Am I a better son? Or whatever it may be. How has F3 changed my life? And respond accordingly with generosity. But if you don't hear me say anything else tonight, I want you to hear this. When you're generous, be generous locally first, okay? Give locally. Be a generous him on a local level. And if you can and have the means to support the nation level, to invest in all the things you've already heard about and some more to come that are going to help give this thing away to the next man, then do that too. But give locally first, right? More details to come on Accelerate. Now, getting into how these funds are used. Again, these slides are going to be on the website. I'm going to skim through this. So you've got a national attraction campaign. How are we talking to the guys that don't yet know we exist but need us? Cultural investments through travel, because we know as we grow, if you've ever had a business out there, as you grow, maintaining culture is often one of the most important things you can do. And also at the same time, one of the biggest struggles. So we'll look to maintain that. Technology, all the stuff Tackle just covered. Holy smokes, that guy, you want to talk about having your plate full. Holy shnikes, Richard. So we're going to be making targeted investments because we're always going to be a volunteer organization, okay? We're going to need to leverage technology so that we can be more efficient, spend less time about coding and being nerds and more time headlocking guys, right? Because that's why we exist. On this next slide, you guys better get excited about this. So I hope you're sitting down, or maybe you're standing, maybe you're planking or doing burpees. But you're going to be hearing from your sector Qs, okay, about these regions starter kits. We're calling them regions in a box. It takes everything in me not to do the SNL little jingle right now, but your sector Qs are going to be talking about regions in a box. These are going to come to every new region moving forward for free, okay? You're going to get all these things to help you bring more awareness to what's happening in your backyard with F3, spend less time with all the administrative stuff and more time going out, bringing guys into the gloom. Again, more to come on all these investment areas, but this is just a little bit of a snapshot about how your donations are going to work to help unlock more men and help them find their purpose. So as we close, speaking of generosity, as I said, generosity with an F3 man starts locally. And if you're out there and you're raising funds in your local region or your backyard for a cause that you care about, we want to help you accelerate that. We've already partnered with 26 regions to help them accelerate their local fundraising and impact. What we do is you leverage the nation's 501c3 tax ID. We help support you. We absorb the back of house administrative activities so that you can just go raise money and change lives and have impact. Period, full stop. So information is going to be on the website. You can reach me through Slack. You can email me. My contact information is going to be all on there. But look, if you are looking to accelerate your local fundraising and take it to the next level, we can help you do that. Okay? So please reach out to me and let's do it together. Let's partner. Let's help you change lives on a local level because that's what F3 is about. So as I close, I'm going to bring it back to the mission of the charitable arm of F3, that my team and I wake up every single morning looking to accelerate F3 Nation's mission and impact through generosity. I scratch and win. Now I'm going to turn it over to my boy, Huckleberry. Make some noise.
David Kelly, I got the F3 shirt on. It matches the beer. We're good. All right, boys, let's do some blues, riff, and B. Watch me the changes and try to keep up. I want to thank you for being here tonight, live or watching later, regions old and new, big and small. 6 months ago, I jumped on this State of the Nation. As a man, I told you I was standing on the shoulders of giants. I was indebted to just about every F3 man I'd ever come into contact with. I preached about love and ensuring we inserted purpose into every moment. I hope you've seen that out of me. Now, just like all the other guys, I'm asking of you too. What I've learned in the past 6 months is this nation is many things, but at its core is a man. One man who posts alone when the weather's trash, or what the Jacksonville Packs call 50 degrees. The man who brings a flag when no one else shows. The man who invites a coworker. You know how it goes. The UVH guy. There's a guy in Africa, EH, in the whole dang continent. That man, he's the heartbeat of this moment. He is F3. May have to take a breath. When we talk about plant growing service, we think big. But don't forget, every flag we plant starts with one pack standing in the gloom, alone and confident. Okay, maybe not completely confident, but certainly brave enough to lead. Helmet and a whole host of other beautiful men lit a heck of a fire. Now, hear the truth. This wasn't about a fire just to create a fire. My goal for each of you is to help fuel this fire. We are charged with fueling this next level of leadership. It's about building deeper roots. We got to endure. What I've lasted in the 5 years, we endure together. We break together. We've been to a Freedom Ops event. We break together. We thrive together. And since the inception of F3, good men have woven together. And while many other institutions are speaking, like Dark Helmet said, we haven't. This year, I'm going to pause again. This year has proven to be chaotic, disruptive. Politics is a nuclear level toxic. It's got to be my way across the board, fingers pointing, blame in every direction. And a lot of good people have been forced to endure a lot. For the sake of time, I'm not going to reread that. But I want to tell you, as in 5 years' time, I bet I could reread that statement and it'll be the same thing. But in the meantime, we're going to continue to weave this F3 Nation fabric together and tighter. Imagine what F3 Nation's fabric will look like in 5 years. Take another break. Why is F3 accelerating? Because we multiply the impact. We multiply the impact of one man who's willing to lead. And you know this. You are made for more than just leading workouts. And here's what I love about F3. It's free. It's not free. It's not only free, but a young man named Wait Time in F3 Omaha reminded me that F3 was a gift to me by some dude. He gave F3 to me. It was re-given to me. And it's been a gift to all of us. And we have a responsibility to pass that gift along. It's open to all men. Even nobody who's willing to tell anybody about this, somebody's willing to help everybody. You just got to pick what buddy you want to be. Find one of these guys, contact them. We meet outdoors. We've been touching grass long before anybody else. We lead in rotating fashion. We're there for each other. We're peer-led. Life has a way of assigning worth to you from jobs, from life. In F3, we don't do that. We accept you that morning just the way you are, and we end a circle of trust. And none of that takes place on a Zoom call. It takes place just down the street from you. Whew. I'm gonna drink water. Those core principles, they're not just our rules, they're our anchors. It's consistent all across the nation. They remind us who we are and what we do. They remind us this isn't somebody else's mission, it's yours. It's mine. We're growing, we're thriving. But most importantly, every PAX matters. So here's the call, be a voice. It's your nation, it's your time, and you are the reason it keeps accelerating. There's taglines out there, they're waiting on you. I'm going to close, and Camo mentioned Q source. I'm going to mention Starfish Spider. When you put people in an open system, it's a quote, I think from chapter 3. When you put people in an open system, some of them will get high and dance all night. But most people will create art, share, and try as hard as they can in their own way to contribute to community. When you give people freedom, you get chaos, but you also get incredible creativity, energy, and contributions to your community. Your community. Brothers, time flies. I'm going to go back to what I said 6 months ago. This is your reminder to live in this moment. We are not only watching history, we have a chance to be a part of it. F3 is going to be here 100 years from now. And I can't wait till they look back and see the work we did. Let's not waste days, hours, times, or any of this time simply because we can't. Not simply because we can't anymore, because this is our moment. Dark Helmet, I don't have any more air. Back to you.
A problem I've never suffered from. Not enough air. Gentlemen, we're at the bottom of our time. I understand if you got to drop, you can watch the rest of this as you go. But I really hope, first of all, I thank you all of the SLT for speaking tonight. If you can't feel that passion, if you can't feel the love that these men have for you and for this cause, then I legitimately don't know what to tell you. I really don't. I get to work with some of the most sacrificial men. They pour in hours upon hours and time upon time, and they do it because they can't not do it. This is our call. This is what we've been called to do. And I know that many of you feel the same way in your local areas. You feel the call and you have to do it. A couple things I hope that you heard tonight. Number one, that I'm a beautiful man. I think that's very important, that that's a good take home that you have. No, just kidding. Centralized support, decentralized execution. A 3-star general taught me that. That is what we are to do. Centralized support and decentralized execution. You heard Power Clean say, F3 does not change the world. F3 changes men who change the world. That is what we are for. We're going to continue to decentralize things like the LDP. You saw the amazing decentralization that is taking part in the technical area that Tackle talked about. Gilligan talked about the fact that the funds that come here, we view as sacred. We do not trifle with those things. That's why we cut expenses and continue to cut expenses. And by the end of this year, I think we estimated somewhere in the neighborhood of 60% over 2 years ago of things we've been able to cut while still maintaining those things that are mission essential. We will not cut to the point where we can't do things, right? But we will cut everything that we're not supposed to be doing because we're a movement. We're a movement. We're an idea. We're a feeling in men's hearts. I really believe that. This is extended now beyond, although it still is workouts and parking lots. Don't forget that, right? But it's so much more, and it's so much more beyond that. Whether it was by accident, by divine providence, or however you want to define that it got to where it is, here we are. Here we are. And much like Power Clean said in the beginning, we couldn't really stop it if we wanted to. And so get out there and try stuff, break stuff. It's all fixable. Here's the last thing I want to tell you. 2 years ago, Slaughter talked about 250,000 men. And look, it was an arbitrary number with an arbitrary time frame on it, right? Because the vision has always been and always will be millions upon millions of men changed by membership in this organization. The idea was always that you would take care of your backyard, absolutely, but it was always with the vision that it would be in every continent, that would cover every clime. There would not be a place in the world where it would be impossible for a man to find other men and to bring them in community and to unlock their potential, because that is what this movement exists to do. I've never been more happy or more privileged to be part of something out there in the world outside of my faith and my church. This is a very close second because of the work that we do and the things that are important to you men. So you heard the calls, you heard the things that we would love you to do, to be all in, to give of yourself, to forget about your needs and to sacrifice on behalf of others to make this world a better place. We've got thousands of men everywhere dedicated to this cause. And again, I could not be more proud to be part of it. And I could not ask for more in my own life and what it's done for me. So men, as you break tonight and head yourselves home and whatever else you're going to do, just remember that our focus here tonight was to leave you with a rock solid, ironclad legacy position in all the areas that matter when it comes to finance and technology and structure, because your region matters. Of course it does. Absolutely. But the nation is here to provide you the ability to stop using square wheels. It's already been invented. This is round wheels. We want to give you the round wheels because we want you to accelerate, not just the growth of your region, but the depth of the region, the depth of the mission in the hearts of the men. And now really quick, I know we're over time and tough, cry about it, as my teenager might say. But here's what I want you to do. If you have a son, I want you to picture them in your head. When he's the Nantan of your region, when your 16-year-old, your 15-year-old, when he's the Nantan of your region, or he's the Nantan of the nation, we want him to never have to do this kind of lifting again. We want to leave legacy for that young man and for the generations that come after him. He should never have to worry about where the money comes from. He should never have to worry about how he's going to structure the nation to support the growth, how he should build the tech to support the men and lower the barriers and all of that. He should never have to worry about that. We are at the tipping point. We are one Jocko away, one Rogan away. And I promise you, we're going to be on there. I'm going to be on there. Or some other way. Some other man will. It doesn't really matter. But we will be known. It will happen. And as it floods forth, I'm asking you to prepare yourselves. Prepare your hearts, prepare your minds, prepare your regions, because this work is just too important to leave it a chance. All right? All right. Have a great night. Thank you.